Some individuals hold the misconception that the deep web is merely a joke. However, this assumption is far from the truth. It is a realm that should not be taken lightly or entered by casual explorers. Even seasoned hackers with a moral compass should steer clear of this perilous place. The deep web has the potential to scar and terrify, leaving one hesitant to follow the cyber footprints of others ever again. I can attest to this because, at one point, I considered myself a hacker, or at least, I used to be one. My journey with computers began at the age of 12, and I was always captivated by the prospect of being a cyber explorer, determined to uncover the uncharted territories of the internet. With time, I honed my skills in utilizing various software and became adept at navigating the online world. By the time I turned 20, I was confident in my hacking abilities and had garnered a reputation among fellow netizens. I was among the few who had discovered a way to hack the Google search bar, granting access to deeper directories. This was a personal vendetta against YouTube for its copyright infringement claims against content creators during its early years, although that is not pertinent to the present story. Any hacker worth their salt knew of the deep web, which was often associated with the dark net. It was rumored to harbor illicit activities such as drug and weapon trades and other illegal pursuits. During that time, I dabbled in purchasing imported goods and had a fair share of encounters with drugs. I was in the midst of my sophomore year in college when my inclination for being constantly stoned led me to become a regular customer on the digital black market. My friends often sought my assistance in acquiring what they desired, benefiting from my connections with sellers on the web. Back then, accessing the deep web did not involve tools like Tor browsers. Instead, hackers relied on their knowledge of ghost tagging proxies, parent directories, backdoors, scramblers, and dump sites. These terms were familiar to hackers in an era when Java was not as prevalent in browsers as it is today. It was during this time that I discovered the dark side of the internet, known as the deep web, that I had recently acquired new computer equipment, having replaced my old CRT monitor and upgraded the RAM. With my new setup, I intended to engage in some gaming and barter for a better sound card with vendors I frequented on the dark net. As I was preparing to embark on my gaming session, a notification from one of my internet friends caught my attention. They had stumbled upon something intriguing, a series of black boxes that, when opened, led to another web directory. It was like delving deeper into a vast tunnel. Knowing my insatiable curiosity, my friend shared the information with me, confident I would pursue it further. I was among the few intrepid hackers in my circle, a wanderer who mindlessly followed one path after another, opening doors to see where they led. Most of the time, these doors revealed a treasure trove of information, but occasionally they ended in dead ends. My friend provided meticulous details, including the starting point, the pathways taken, IP address resets every 30 to 45 seconds, and the encryption encountered at each black box. He had managed to navigate through 7 boxes, but the 7th had proven to be a challenge. Accepting his challenge, I quickly reviewed the data and activated the necessary encryptions to ensure my safety. I traversed from parent directory to parent directory, determined to conquer this cryptic puzzle. It didn't take long for me to encounter the first black box, protected by basic encryption, that I swiftly overcame. Inside, I found a directory with 4 subdirectories. Although my friend had taken a different path, my curiosity led me to explore the first one. After realizing it was a dead end, I backtracked to the main directory and followed my friend's original path. Within half an hour, I successfully maneuvered through all 6 black boxes, reaching the 7th, which presented a significantly different and intricate encryption. Every hacker, regardless of their expertise, leaves behind a trace of information. It's a matter of knowing where to look. I knew my friend had been here, trapped by this unique lock. Breaking through this encryption required time and effort. It was a Thursday night, and I had finished my work early with no immediate work obligations. This provided me with ample time, and I seized the opportunity that I glanced over the code, swiftly activating the necessary hacking tools and IP scramblers. I needed to bypass the obstruction ahead of me and maintain my anonymity. With my newly devised encryption, I could temporarily latch onto an existing IP address for 30 seconds before seamlessly switching to another, making it appear as if I had vanished. However, this method slowed down my progress, as caution was paramount. In 10 short minutes, I was ready to proceed, following the pathways my friend had outlined and ensuring my safety through encryption. I journeyed from directory to directory, employing all my skills and knowledge to overcome the challenges. Soon, I encountered the last black box, guarded by complex and formidable encryption. As I delved into the depths of this digital labyrinth, my focus sharpened, and my senses heightened. Every ounce of concentration was devoted to deciphering the intricate codes that lay before me. The process was slow and meticulous, and knowing that one misstep could force me to start over from the beginning amplified the pressure. 45 minutes elapsed, and the encryption finally crumbled under the weight of my determination. I felt triumphant, standing atop a metaphorical peak. Yet, the triumph was fleeting as I found myself in another directory, this time with only one item, a redirect hyperlink labeled WEDMHM. Despite my elation at overcoming the encryption, I failed to consider the implications of blindly clicking on the link. Without a second thought, I ventured into the unknown, propelled by my relentless curiosity. Unbeknownst to me, my ghost was active, shielding me from potential traces and ensuring my anonymity. The link redirected me to another website, which took longer to load, likely due to my ghost filtering and tunneling to evade any surveillance. This indicated that I had accessed a backdoor, an entrance not meant for casual explorers, reserved for those who believed they were invincible or were the site managers themselves. After a few minutes, the web page loaded, accompanied by a soft, eerie carnival-like melody. Even with headphones on, the music was barely audible above a whisper. I had to focus intently to catch its nuances. Across the screen, bold letters welcomed me to the Monkey House, reminiscent of the title of a Kurt Vonnegut book. As a fan of his works, I recognized the reference, but little did I know the horrors that awaited me beyond that screen. A chat window emerged in the bottom right corner, accompanied by a greeting message that sent shivers down my spine. It welcomed me to the Monkey House, home to chilling thrills and unimaginable horrors. The message offered a guided tour, assuming that I was a guest who had received a voucher from a VIP member. It mentioned an ongoing event for which vouchers had been distributed, allowing VIP members to invite their friends. I quickly realized that this was a membership-only site and that I had entered through an unauthorized backdoor. Pretending to be a guest, I engaged in a conversation with the unknown host, aware that my true intentions and identity needed to remain concealed. The host acknowledged my unfamiliar IP address, hinting at the surveillance in place. Fear gripped me as I realized my vulnerability, trapped within this sinister realm. Despite my unease, I played along, pretending to be referred by a friend, knowing that any suspicious behavior could have dire consequences. The host explained the rules, the limited access, and the potential consequences of attending the event. I acknowledged my understanding, concealing my growing horror. As the event was about to commence, the video screen opened, revealing a masked figure, the host named Hans Twilight. Dressed in an elaborate outfit and holding a peculiar cane, he introduced himself as the ringleader of this carnival. The audience, consisting of the chat room participants, erupted in applause, eagerly anticipating the show. I couldn't fathom the sickening nature of this spectacle, but I was already entangled in its web. The first act involved a man strapped to a table, wearing an elephant mask. As a buzzsaw roared to life, the man's screams filled the air. The audience reveled in sadistic pleasure, applauding the winner of a competition, who had chosen this gruesome execution method. My heart sank as I realized the depths of depravity I had stumbled upon. I was no longer an observer but an unwilling witness to these unspeakable acts. Overwhelmed by disgust and horror, I attempted to escape this nightmare. Desperate, I hacked into the scripts and tried to shut down my browser. However, I was met with a locked-in system, preventing any escape. Panic consumed me as I grappled with the realization that I was trapped within this abomination. Suddenly, a private chat window appeared, addressing me directly. The unknown hacker on the other end taunted me, revealing my true identity as a ghost hacker. Fear surged through my veins, and I understood the dire consequences of being exposed. In a desperate move, I yanked the power cord, abruptly shutting down my computer. I dismantled my rig, destroyed any incriminating evidence, and eradicated my online presence. For the following months, I distanced myself from computers, erasing any traces of my previous life as a hacker. To this day, I have never spoken to my friend about my successful breakthrough into the final black box. The fate of the monkey house remains a mystery, but I have no desire to uncover its existence or what transpired within its dark corridors. All I wished for was to never receive another message inviting me to such a twisted place, the haunting monkey house.